fifth worst team in the NBA over that time. Here's LeBron himself addressing the media earlier today.
I respect Frank as a coach, as a man, in our partnership that we've had over a few years here has been nothing but just candid, great conversations. At the end of the day, I don't know what's going to happen, with Frank and being here, but, I got nothing but respect for him. I mean, it's not failure at all. Listen, we came to work every single day, put our hard hats on, and we try to get better every day, and the result just didn't happen for us. So, but it's not a failure. It's not like, we came together as a team. We wanted to be as great as we can be. We just didn't accomplish a lot of the things that we would have hoped. Well, I came here to win a championship, and I want to win more. I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish, but I'm still hungry for more. So, but yeah, when I signed here, I told them that I want to, help this franchise become a champion once again. So I've done that. We've done that. But I want to do it again.
Yeah, most franchises, you need to win a championship to be accepted. I think with the Lakers, you need at least two. Dave McMenamin with me from LA. Dave, you attended the press conference with LeBron today. Before we get to anything else, LeBron says they put their hard hats on and come to work every day. I know injuries are injuries. He came to work 56 days, and Anthony Davis 40 days. Every day will be 82 days. He said he hadn't been informed of any coaching change, right? But Woj has now reported the Lakers have fired Frank Vogel. Dave, you observed an awkward moment after last night's game in Denver. Please tell me about it.
Yeah, Max, obviously the news was trickling out from Adrian Wojnarowski right after the game ended in Denver that the Lakers planned to relieve Frank Vogel's coaching duties, but they hadn't informed him yet. So after Frank did his post-game press conference, me and several other reporters were at Ball Arena and saw him on his cell phone. And as he made his way out of the arena, he made it clear to us that, hey, I was just talking to my wife. That wasn't me talking to the Lakers. I haven't been told anything from the Lakers yet. And then I was told that when the team landed in Los Angeles around 2 a.m., Frank stayed on the plane, let some of his assistants get off the plane to kind of figure out the situation and tell him whether Lakers management would be waiting for him there on the tarmac to tell him his fate. Once he got the word that coast was clear, he got off, went home, was able to spend the night still as Lakers head coach, but just about 15 minutes ago was relieved of his head coaching duties.
It had to be a fall guy. It wasn't going to be Jeannie Buss. It wasn't going to be Pelinka. It's not going to be LeBron. Who's it going to be? If they want to make a change, it's going to be the coach. You had a conversation with Anthony Davis last night and posted a story this morning, Dave, about his relationship with LeBron. What can you tell us?
Well, Max, I asked him just 15 months ago, whoever it was when we were in the bubble, you and LeBron James paired to win a championship. Since then, first round exit and not even qualifying for the play-in tournament this year. Quite frankly, can you two be the core of a championship team moving forward? He said, absolutely we can. We need health on our side. But the revelatory statement he made was we need to have a serious conversation this summer about what's happened since that championship. Try to figure out what's correctable in terms of that chain of events and put things back in motion for us to be the principal pieces on a title team moving forward.
Thank you, Dave. It's not that complicated, really, is it? They need better health and some 3-and-D guys. I mean, that's just me. Better health and 3-and-D guys seems to be the answer. Dave McMenamin, ladies and gentlemen. Excellent, Dave, as always. The Lakers have few assets to make major roster moves entering the offseason unless they want to package AD to get rid of Westbrook's contract. They have 7 players under contract heading into next season whose combined salaries come out to $149 million. It's about $27 million over the cap. Thank God it's a soft cap in the NBA, right? Tim Legler with me for more Lakers reaction. Legs, LeBron said earlier today that this season wasn't a failure. The Lakers didn't even make the play-in tournament. What's he talking about?
He took questions for 30 minutes, and that's the one thing that popped off at me. It wasn't a failure. No, it wasn't a failure. It was a disaster. It was far worse than a failure because you look, the only way you can lose to the extent the Lakers did this year with that kind of talent at the top of their roster and not call it a failure is if somehow you were building towards something and it was just one of those years where some things happened. They didn't build toward anything. We're sitting here at the end of the year, no coach, Basically, players 4 through 15 now are going to be a revolving door of finding an entire new roster to go around them. They had the second worst record after the All-Star break in the history of the franchise. If you've got LeBron James on your roster, every year you expect to win a championship, and anything short of that is a failure, disappointment. This can only be categorized as an utter disaster. So I thought that really struck me that he would try to frame it in that way.
The only way this wasn't a failure is if on Earth 2, failure means success, right? Then yes, it's not a failure. Here on Earth, that's a catastrophic failure. Can the Lakers win another championship with LeBron and AD as the nucleus?
I don't think so. And I'm tired of us always talking about, well, if they stay healthy. You know, the talent is there. Yeah, the talent is there between those two guys, assuming LeBron James and Anthony Davis are able to play 70, 75 games in a regular season and stay healthy for a 2-month playoff run, depending on who they put around him. Yes, I guess they'd be in the mix, but I just don't believe that's viable anymore to expect that. Look at the amount of time that they have both missed. It's not just AD anymore. Now, this is a guy in Anthony Davis that we have criticized throughout his career for his lack of availability. It's not just him. LeBron James now, year after year, is continuing to have large chunks of the season where he's not available to play. And I don't expect that to change as you get a year older and you have additional mileage on your legs. I mean, LeBron James going out there and playing in a way where he almost leads the league in scoring on this team, that's not going to bode well for his ability to stay healthy going forward. So I just think we're past the point of giving those guys the benefit of the doubt that they will be healthy. And so therefore, I say no, I don't think that they're going to be, especially in the West, with what you're going to have to overcome, with how good some of these teams are at the top, and getting better with young superstars like Jokic and Luka.
Jamal Murray comes back for Denver. The Clippers get healthy. There's all kinds of stuff. On the other hand, look, they really didn't have a big two. They had a big one. Because if you add their games combined, it's 96 games. It's barely over 82. It's like one full season. But Legs, unless we think AD is done even playing 60-plus games a year, he's due to get 60 games in one of these years. LeBron also, they probably, if they had the right pieces around them, each played 60, 65 games. Don't you think they could compete?
There's another problem along those lines. It goes to mentality with the organization. And I think mentality of those players who have had, particularly LeBron, there's such deep postseason runs his entire career. The regular season is meaningless to them. Okay, and so that's another part of it. Coming back a little bit longer from injuries than you normally would have. You're getting additional load management nights off. All of that stuff adds up to missing 20-plus games, each of them. And if that's the case, you're talking about potentially having to come from the 6th spot, the 7th spot, the 8th spot, a play-in, whatever it may be, because they are not going to be able to generate 55-plus wins to be in that top 3-4 in the Western Conference. I just don't think it matters to them, in addition to the mileage and, in Anthony Davis's case, really just an absolute lack of ability to play through injuries, to avoid injuries. He's been snake bit maybe to a certain extent. I also think part of it is just he has a hard time coming back from stuff that guys come back from a little bit sooner.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.